Let's talk about the truth behind addiction. Not from theory, but from experience. Because I've been there. I used to be addicted to porn. And if grace hadn't reached me when it did, I'd still be trapped. This isn't a lecture. It's a conversation. You and me. Because addiction doesn't care who you are. Christian, pastor, leader, nobody. It doesn't knock first. It just comes in, and if you don't notice early, it builds a home in your head. Addiction always starts small. A little curiosity, a little relief. You tell yourself it's just one time, but your brain remembers. And what feels like escape quickly becomes a chain. God gave us a beautiful design. A brain wired to reward joy, connection, purpose. When you laugh with friends, when you worship, when you hold someone you love, dopamine is doing its thing. But addiction hijacks that system. It gives your brain a shortcut, a cheap thrill, a fast high. And at first, it feels good. I remember it, that first hit of porn. It was like electricity in my chest. Exciting, shameful, but powerful. And the worst part? It worked. It numbed the loneliness until it didn't. That's how it traps you. Because now your brain says, let's go back. And you do, over and over again. But the more you go back, the less it satisfies. Suddenly, you need more intense, more graphic. And at the same time, real life starts fading. Conversations feel dull. Real love feels awkward. Joy starts to slip away. It's not just porn. Let's talk phones. You ever open your phone to check one thing, and next thing you know, you've scrolled for 45 minutes? That's not accident. That's architecture. These apps are built to keep you hooked. Dopamine hits, notification buzz, endless scroll. Every swipe says stay a little longer, and it works. But here's the danger. The longer you stay online, the more you disconnect from real life. You lose presence, creativity, and stillness. And maybe worst of all, you lose awareness of how empty you're starting to feel. Then there's drugs and alcohol, another form of escape. A drink after work turns into two. A pill for pain turns into a bottle by the bed. Because pain untreated becomes a craving unmet. And addiction, it doesn't just treat the pain, it rewires the need. I've never battled alcohol, but I've known the craving, the itch in your soul for something to shut off the noise. And when that something delivers, even for a moment, your brain puts it on repeat. What started as comfort becomes a command. You don't even want it anymore, but your body, your habits, your guilt, they all scream, just do it again. This is how the enemy works. He doesn't shove you into addiction. He slides you in with whispers like, it's not that bad. God understands. You'll stop. Just not today. And then one day you wake up and you don't recognize yourself anymore. That's where I found myself, lifting my hands in worship on Sunday, but chained to a screen every Saturday night. Ashamed, numb, exhausted. That's what addiction does. It doesn't just wreck your behavior, it wrecks your identity. It convinces you that you are your struggle, that you'll never break free, that you're too far gone, too dirty, too stuck. But let me tell you something I had to learn the hard way. Addiction may feel like your identity, but it's not your destiny. And here's the tension we all wrestle with. If addiction can rewire your brain, if it can numb your emotions, if it can steal joy and distort desire, then how in the world do we ever recover? Because let's be honest, willpower didn't work for me. Shame didn't change me, and guilt just made me hide better. So what actually brings freedom? What if the answer isn't trying harder, but surrendering deeper? What if the only way out is to fall into the arms of the one who already won? In part 2, that's exactly what we're diving into. Because yes, addiction rewires your brain, but God renews your mind. And where chains were forged, grace